Don't say any of that, Matt. Don't say that stuff. I did it again. Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt. I really want to start this one off by saying I so badly wanted to make fun of Logitech here because in their advertisement scheme they said that these headsets were lighter than 2 small cheeseburgers. I of course went to McDonald's and got 2 small cheeseburgers thinking, alright, well let's go ahead and show them that's not the case here. The two cheeseburgers, they weighed more. And what can I say? They got it. They got it with that one. They were right. These are definitely lighter than 2 small McDoubles from McDonald's. That's not advertisement. I wish McDonald's would sponsor this, but that is not a McDonald's advertisement. All right, I made a quick list to go over because I actually did write like 3 pages on this headset, but that's way too much to talk about. And first and foremost, what most people want to hear is what the microphone sounds like. You want a little bit of a sound test, something I can actually demo, so let's start right here and do that. Okay, so right now you're hearing me on the Logitech G733. This is what the headset sounds like default out of the box if you just plug it in and let it go. There are small things you can do in there, such as adjust it using the Blue microphone technology that's included, because Logitech owns Blue now, if you didn't know that. But this is this one right now. Now you're hearing me through the Deity microphone, the V-mic that's on top of the camera at the moment, and we'll go back to the V-Lab or the Boom, whichever one I'm using for the main video, and you can compare it that way as well. But this is what this headset sounds like. And for good measure, we'll throw in the previous model of Logitech headset that I have so you can hear what that one sounds like in comparison. Okay, and now you're hearing me through my former headset, my former daily driver Logitech headset. So this is what this one sounds like. Can you tell if there's a difference? Does this one sound better than the G733? What do you think? Again, we'll compare it with the V-mic. Now you're hearing me through the V-mic right on top of the camera. And that's a small shotgun microphone with decibels turned way down, so it's probably not picking up super well itself. But just so you have a comparison between those. This is the older headset. Does the microphone sound better? And this is the G733, the newer microphone on this newer headset. Does it sound adequate? So right now I'm recording, as you saw me hit record up there where it says AM radio. I'm recording a quick sample, which you're going to hear me say all this again as I kind of click through some of the presets, as well as the ability to customize what the microphone sounds like. So while it might have sounded the way it did in comparison and out of the box, and ultimately really will kind of sound like that, compared to the other ones, you can come in here and make some changes and make things a little bit better. So let's do that. So right now I'm recording, as you saw me hit record up there where it says AM radio. I'm recording a quick sample, which you're going to hear me say all this again as I kind of click through some of the presets, as well as the ability to customize what the microphone sounds like. So while it might have sounded the way it did in comparison and out of the box, and ultimately really will kind of sound like that, compared to the other ones, you can come in here and make some changes and make things a little bit better. So let's do that. Now, as I mentioned, its lightweight design makes it super comfortable. It's made out of some pretty malleable plastics, which is great because if you need to be able to kind of twist it and it be malleable, it's very easy to mold to your configuration and it's very flexible. So if you need to take like one off the ear, it's not a super stiff, rigid design. It just very comfortable. They're not brittle or cheap feeling plastics, but at the same time, they're so lightweight, they almost have that cheap feel to them. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but I'm very confident in the construction of them at this point anyways. Now, it does feature swappable bands, one that can be adjusted at that, whether you have a longer head or a less longer head, and you can sort of find something comfortable in there, but it is stretchy and flexible enough that it should really be fine on either one of those. These ear pads, these are hands down the most comfortable ear pads I've ever had on any headset. I've been through a good amount of headsets in my time, and hands down the most comfortable ear pads on any headset ever. They're like a super soft, kind of squishy bounce back memory foam, but it's like so soft, like expensive pillow soft. And after hours of use and wearing them, the worst I could say is it's warm around my ears, but it's not like a discomfort. It's not like uncomfortable to the point, it's not unbearable. It's very comfortable. It's not scratchy material, just really soft, comfortable material. The range is great, and it's great. I mean, if you have to get up and walk across the house to go to the bathroom, you can make your friends listen to you do that. More on that in a minute, because the mute button is not always great. Now, while it doesn't actually seem to advertise as 7.1 surround, when I go in there and I look at it, I can count the 7 different, directional audio sound areas. So I don't know what kept them from labeling it as 7.1 surround headset, or virtual surround headset. But in there you can change different volumes for settings. You can hear very well. If you've ever played Phasmophobia, a headset like this is great for it because you hear all the sounds, the spooky stuff going on all around you. I think that the headset itself sounds pretty fantastic. Whether you're listening to music, watching videos, playing games, it's pretty on point. It's also Discord certified. I didn't know that was a thing. It just started showing up on stuff, but if you are interested, is it Discord certified? Yeah. Now, the on-ear controls are much simpler than the 633, which had all the macroable buttons, and every time I grabbed it off my head, I used to feel like it would hit everything in the world on the back of that, so they were always left just completely disabled. You have a power button on the very bottom of your left ear. You can also tap the button for an audio representation of what, rounded up or down to tens, is your closest charge level.
Battery 90%.
You have a volume wheel that's really easy to control, goes up and down, obviously, for volume up and volume down, so, you know, up, down. That's pretty simple and straightforward. And then you have the mute button. When you press the button, the lights will indicate that you've muted. I would prefer like something on the boom, while the boom is a detachable 3.5mm jack. It would be nice to have somewhere like that you could see there's a red light or something that you're muted. It will quickly flash red on the lights if you have them on to indicate that you're muted. And you'll hear a indicating sound that you've muted the microphone. Problem is, when I hit this button, it doesn't mute. Maybe there's an update I need to run again. In theory, this mute button should work, and I sat there for a while and I would hit it. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. You just rip the microphone out at that point. The headset does charge over USB-C. If you wanted to use it as a wired solution as well, you can use that USB-C and keep it plugged in. USB-C to Type A for the computer, and it's about a 6-foot cable. So if you've got 6 feet of room, there you go. The dongle is a little bit larger than I thought it would be. I didn't expect such a giant-sized one. It's just sort of ugly and big, and this can be a problem in the back of your PC or on top if you don't want somebody to see it there on top on one of your front I/O plugins. But on the back I/O plugins, it's wide and thick enough and sticks out and has a protrusion that it may actually get in the way of other things you have plugged in. What I did was plug a little adapter in there so that I could kind of hang it off the back and conform it with the other USBs that are plugged in already. Logitech has an infamous charge time problem, and I want to discuss that right now. Between my 703 mice or this headset, it gets to 80%, so it charges relatively fast because I charged it up from 30%, walked around for a little bit, came back, it said 80%. Well, I went and did some things for a while, about an hour or so, I came back, still 80%. I don't know why this happens, but if you even go to Reddit or other forums and look around, everybody else kind of says this too. Something about Logitech's devices charges quickly to 80% and then it stays at 80%. That's nothing to worry about. It will eventually charge to full. You just got to leave it on there and walk away. I played for about 8 hours one night with it on full with the RGB lights on because some people will probably want to leave those LED lights on, and while the battery life is advertised at 29 hours, I'm going to say it's safe to assume that is without the lights on. So at about 8 hours of play, I got down to 50%. When I'd hit the button, it would tell me you're at 50%. And I would say that that's probably, if I'm just doubling the math from 50% there, about 16 hours with the lights on. Now, if I do go into G-Hub, I will notice there's an indicator in there that allows me to look at what more precisely the percentage is at and give me a rough guesstimate on its own numbers of how much battery life I have left. Anyways, I hope this was somewhat useful or helpful to you, and you guys have a great day, night, whatever it is, and I'll see you in the next video that I do.